Going to create a pivot table. And what should the pivot table show?
Names of the students.
Names of students. What else?
Averages,
Huh?
The averages
averages,
and
Their average
status.
their
and
status,
their status.
status.
All right, now pivot table is something new to us, right? And I'm going to tell you what a pivot table is, and it's in the notes that I already sent in the Microsoft Excel notes. A pivot table is basically a table that can give a summary of data. So say, for example, you work in an organization and the boss asks, say it's a bank, and the boss asks for, or the manager of the bank asks for a summary of all the persons who came to the bank and withdrew over $10,000 on a particular day. You can use a pivot table to summarize that data to present it to the boss. So basically what the pivot table does is like it creates a summary of data. Whatever data you want to summarize, you can use a pivot table to do so. So it's kind of similar to a graph or a chart, but a little bit more detailed, and it's very easy. All right. So the pivot table again is just a summary of data. So our data here that we're working with is a report where we have students' names, how much they scored on test 1, test 2, their averages, their grade, their status, and their position. And the question says we want a pivot table that shows the student's name, their average, and their status, which means we just need a summary showing only those things, right? So we don't want their test 1, test 2, we don't want their grade right here. Well, no, and we don't want their position because it said their names, their average, and their status. All right, so to create a pivot table, the first thing we do is go to the Home tab. Not Home tab, sorry, the Insert tab. So the first thing we do is go to the Insert tab. Do you see pivot table anywhere in the Insert tab? Do you see pivot table?
Yes.
All right, so you go in the Insert tab, you look for pivot table, and it's right here. Right here. You click on the little arrow. You have pivot chart, which would be more like a graphical representation, and you have pivot table that does it in a table format. And the question says create a pivot table, right? So the first thing we do is go to Insert and click Pivot Table, and we choose Pivot Table right here. All right. When we choose Pivot Table, you're going to see a pop-up on the screen, which looks like this. It says, choose the data that you want to analyze. Select a table or range. So the data that you want to analyze, you would select it, right? So where it says table or range, you click there. More than likely, it comes up automatically, right? It highlights it automatically, but not all the time. So I want you to be able to do it on your own. So select a table or range. This is the table we're working with. So you highlight the table because this is the table. And everybody see that I highlight this, right? Because the last time it looked like we never just the one I highlight. Then it goes here and says, choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed. Do you want it on a new worksheet or do you want it on an existing worksheet? Existing worksheet would mean that the pivot table would come on the same page here. We don't want it on the same page, so we select new worksheet, click OK. And then it's going to pop up like this. All right, so it pops up like this. Everybody seeing over here, right here? So once you click pivot table and highlight the table, this automatically comes up when you select new sheet. And everybody is seeing this?
Yes, ma'am.
So you would click what it says. So it says where to put on their name. You just click name. And if you look over the left side here, when I click name, you see all the names come up over here.
Yes, ma'am.
They just automatically come up. It also said where to put on their average. So we click average. There it is. You're seeing that their averages came up as well. And you notice here that it's totaling it. Even though you didn't ask it that, it's totaling it because it's like a report. It summarizes the data for you. And it can be used in doing presentations. All right. And it also wants their, was it status? Yes. So there we have it. All the persons. So the first person is Andrea Smith. This is the person's average. And notice it says pass. K. Lewis, 61.5, fail. Kevin Brown, fail, 49. So it basically summarize the data for you. If you wanted to put other things on it, you could say, if the question said put their position, I could add it as well by just clicking position. See? Their position come up at the side. All right? Following?
Yes, miss.
All right, so
Yes.
let's do another one. So let's go back on our sheet. So I'm going to make up another one, even though it's not in the questions. All right, let's do a pivot table to show the students' names and their scores on test 1 and test 2. What's the first thing that I do? What should I do first? Huh? No, pay attention, you know. First thing I do is click the insert tab. Then I click pivot table, choose pivot table. Then you highlight the table, which is this table. Notice me highlight name, test 1, all the thing, everything right here. It's already a new worksheet, so I can just click OK. It pops up like this, and I just choose name. See the names coming up, test 1, test 2. Good. Let's do another one. And we're going to do another pivot table to show the students' names and their letter grade and their position. What's the first thing I should click?
Insert tab.
Huh?
To go to insert tab.
Go to the insert tab.
Then you click pivot table.
Yes.
Then you choose a pivot.
Pivot table. Then what I do next? A table range, what do I do?
Copy the table, miss.
It's not copy, I copy it. I highlight it.
Yes, highlight the table.
So I highlight from name, come all the way down, highlight the table. Then I click new worksheet, which is already selected, and click OK. When this comes up now, I choose name. What else I did say? Name, grade. So notice the name came up and the grade that they got C, D, F, C, F, A, and their position. Good? Everybody is fine?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
All right, next one. This one says, generate a column graph that compares test 1 and test 2 for all students. Provide an appropriate title, label the axes, and display the data labels. So we're going to be creating a column graph, and I'm sure we know what that is because we do maths. So we know line graph, column graph, bar graph, pie chart, and all of those, right? So it's like just a graphical representation of the data. So we're going to do a column graph that shows or compares test 1 and test 2 scores for all the students. All right. So let's go on the data. All right. So we want the students. Let me look back on it. I don't remember. So we're going to need their names and test 1 and test 2, right? That's what it says. Generate a column graph that compares test 1, test 2 for all students. So if it's at all students, we need their names and test 1 and test 2. All right. So we highlight, the first thing we do to generate our graph, highlight the tables that we need. So we need name, hold down on the control key, test 1, test 2. So we need their name, test 1 and test 2 on the graph, right? Is everybody following? I'm not hearing you guys.
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
All right, so after we highlight what we need on the graph, we go to the Insert tab. You see column graph, line graph, pie, bar graph, area, scatter, other charts. You click the little arrow and you see a lot of charts, right? But the question says a column graph, right? So we choose column. And you can choose, when you're doing your own thing, you can choose any design. You have pyramid design, cone design, cylinder design, 3D and all of that. I'm just going to choose this one, the first one right here. All right, so when I choose it, look at how it comes up. But on the instruction, it says that we should have appropriate labels. And I'm sure in mathematics, you learn about X and Y axis and so on, right? So it's a provide an appropriate title. So we need a title for our chart and we need to label the axes or X and Y axis, right? So to do that, we're going to go to chart tools. I don't know if you're seeing up here, but at the extreme top right beside book 1 Microsoft Excel chart tools is right there and you just click it. When you click it, you see different colors. So I can change the colors of the chart. The color. Notice the colors are changing. All right, I can change the colors. And I can choose a chart layout that is going to allow me to label the cell, the axes. So I'm trying the first one. First one has a chart title, so I'll take this out and type in what I want, but it doesn't give me any label for the axis. So I'll try a next one. This one doesn't either. Try another one, no. Try another one, no. Another one, no. Well, this one labels this axis, but not this one. I think layout 8. Let's try layout 8. All right, so layout 8 has chart title and it shows labels for both X and Y axis. But what do you notice about this? We're not seeing the names nor anything. So I don't like that layout. All right. I'm going to do it again, just to ensure that I highlighted the right things. The students' names, test 1 and test 2. Insert. Oh, there it is. Look much better now. So I'm assuming why it was looking like that was because I had the headings in there. I included the headings name, test 1, test 2 when I was highlighting. So when you're highlighting to create your graphs, don't put the headings in there, right? Just the information. So now let's choose layout 8. Because layout 8 labels both axes as 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So what could you call, what could be the title of this? So you just double click here and backspace out chart title. What do you think would be a suitable name? What could you say this? Chart what? Chart showing. What are we showing? What is being shown on the chart? What is being shown on the chart, students? What is being shown? What is showing on the chart, students? What did we highlight? What is showing in the chart?
Names of the students.
Names and what? What else? It's not just their names. What else is showing?
Students name
and test grade.
So now that me ask, why I know it takes so long for answer. Students names, test 1 and test 2. Good, so that's the title. What would be on this axis? What is showing on this axis? You click on it, double click on it and take out what is there. What is being shown here?
Students' name.
Students names. And what would be on this axis now?
Students grades.
Test 1 and test 2. All right, so the blue represents test 1 and the red represents test 2. Now we don't have to keep it on the same page. So we click on the chart and look in the toolbar up here. You'd see move chart on the right side, extreme right, click move chart. It's going to ask you where you want to place it. Choose where you want the chart to be placed. So we are going to select new sheet and click OK. So the chart will go on a sheet by itself. And there you have it. So chart showing students' names, test 1 and test 2. And we label our axis, students' names, test 1 and test 2. Good? Let's do another one. Because, no say. All right, this time we want to show the students' names, their average, and their position. All right? Students' names, average, and position. And we want to show this on a column graph. What is the first thing we do? Oh boy. The first thing we do is highlight what we want to show on the graph. So we want their name, and to highlight the other things that we need, you hold down on the control key, not shift, control. So after you highlight the first column, hold on control. We said we want their grade. Was it grade or average? Average. Let go of control, hold it down again, and highlight position. So we want 3 things on the chart: their name, average, and position. So we highlight name, average, position. And again, you're about to make the same mistake we made in the first time because I included the headings. Remember, the headings are not to be included. So let's highlight again. We'll highlight the names only, don't put the heading in there. Hold down on control, highlight their averages, let go, hold on control again, highlight their position. All right. After we highlight what we need to go on the chart, which is name, average, and position, we go in the insert tab, click column, choose whichever one. I'm choosing the first one. Oh, let's do it again. Highlight their names. We want their names. So I highlight the names, hold on and control. Highlight their average, hold on and control. Highlight their position. Go to the insert tab, click columns, choose the one that you want. All right, then we click chart tools at the extreme top, choose a layout that shows the title and so on. Shows the title and label the axes. And I think layout 8 was the one that we selected that showed all of those things. That's 6, so 8 is right here. We label, take out this, type whatever we want to call it, double click here, label the axes, do the same thing over here, and then we click move chart, new sheet, okay. And the chart is on a sheet by itself. I'm going to do one more because a while ago, nobody could tell me what to do. We want to create a pie this time. Pie showing the students' names and their grade. That's the only thing we want to show, students' name and grade. What's the first thing I do? What's the first thing I do? Highlight it. So I want their names, so I highlight their names. Remember not to put the heading in there, and I hold down on the control key, highlight the grades. Good? All right, what's next? After we highlight, what do we do next?
Going to insert.
Excuse me.
Go in columns.
All right, so this time I said we were doing a pie chart, so we wouldn't go in columns, we would click what?
Pie.
Pie. So I'm choosing the first one. It's not showing anything. I don't know, something might be wrong with my computer because I notice each time I have to be highlighting over and over for it to show. So let me do it again. Let me highlight again. If you do it and you don't see anything come up, the highlight, it wasn't highlighted properly. Insert pie. Still nothing. All right, let me try column and see if it's. I don't know. Nothing not highlighting properly. Notice it leaving off the A and it's causing a problem. See, it's not showing anything. I don't know why it's doing that. So you should highlight every single thing. It keeps leaving off one. If don't leave off the top one, it leave off the bottom one. All right, guys, but you get the gist, right? I'm not sure what's happening with the computer. So you highlight the columns that you want. After you finish highlighting them, you click insert, choose whichever one you want. After you choose, I'm just going to do it, even though it's not showing. What do you do next? You choose chart tools, then you choose a layout that show information for the chart heading and the axes or the labels. You can change the colors right here. Then you click move chart, new sheet to get it on a sheet by itself. Remember, nothing is showing because my highlight is not working properly. All right, so that's how you create a chart. And we did 2 already. Let's go back to our instructions. All right. So we're finished with that. All right, so that's where we're going to stop for today. Let me see what we have left to do. Just 3 more activities and we're finished. All right. So on Wednesday, we're going to do this one. manipulating one or more worksheets, using one or more worksheets to solve problems, basically linking two or more worksheets to solve problems. So on Wednesday, we meet again at 4 p.m. We're going to continue, all right? If you have a device and can practice at home, please to try to go through. I sent this activity in the group, so it's there in the group. So you can open it and practice on your phone. All the instructions are there. Just practice on your phone or on your laptop or tablet or whatever you have. Until we meet again on Wednesday, where we will pick up, and I think by Wednesday we'll be finished with Excel. All right, we only have 3 small things left to do. Okay, so that's it for today. Before we go, I need someone to tell me what are the 2 types of filterings.
Advanced filtering and
Simple filtering.
And simple filtering. Very good. So we have advanced filtering and simple filtering. What's the difference between the 2 of them? What's the difference between them? All right, let me ask it another way. When do we use advanced filtering as opposed to using just simple filtering? Boy, I'm in a day of work on no stress me, God no. We just did it a while ago. We use advanced filtering when we want to extract the data, and we use simple filtering when we're not extracting, we're just letting the data stay in the one place. All right, next question. What is a pivot table used for? What is a pivot table used for, students?
A pivot table, some way of data we use for Jesus.
What did you say about Kevoy?
A pivot table is a summary of data.
All right, good. Which tab can you find the pivot table in?
Just remember
the insert tab.
The insert tab. Good. Which tab can you find columns in? Or graphs or charts? The? Which column? Which tab?
Formula.
Huh?
The formula.
No.
Try again.
Graphs, and we just do graph. We just do 2-column graph, and we were trying to do a pie graph, but it wasn't working. Which tab did we go in to do the graphs?
The insert tab.
Insert tab. When we are highlighting data to be inserted into a graph, what do we hold down on the keyboard? Which key on the keyboard we hold down on when we are highlighting the data to put in the graph?
Control.
Good. Which tab can we find advanced filtering?
Data tab.
The data tab. Good. So that's what we did. Basically, that's what we covered today. In the next class, we're going to learn how to manipulate more than one worksheet. And that's Wednesday, same time at 4 p.m. Guys, please, the Excel notes is in the group. Can you just open the notes and read as much as possible? We are at home. I know we have chores and all of that, but can we spend some time and read the notes? Can we spend some time and go through the activity? So that when we are in class, we are not just sitting like blank slates. We already at least have an idea of what is being done, please. It's not like I haven't sent the notes in the group. The worksheet is also in the group. We have to do some reading on our own. We realize what is happening around us now. And so we have to be vigilant. We have to take responsibility for our own learning. We're not in the classroom. And so we have to just try and do our best, please. So I'll see you on Wednesday. And I hope when you come on Wednesday, you would have read the notes on manipulating more than one worksheet as it is in the notes provided. As it relates to the activity that you guys sent, I'm still in the process of marking. I should be finished by this week. So by the end of this week, you'll get your grades. All right, so see you on Wednesday. Please to come prepared. And remember to stay safe. All right, guys. Bye. Have a good day.